Attention new agents thinking about joining PHP agency. You need to ask these 4 questions before you join, because while selling insurance is such a great opportunity, it's very important that you do your due diligence to make sure PHP or any agency truly is the best choice as your agency partner. Number 1, prospecting strategy. So the first thing you need to understand if you've never done any kind of sales before is that your strategy to develop prospects is vitally important. I would go so far as to say is the product that you sell is less important than it is the strategy used to develop those prospects to sell something to. So when you're talking to PHP about joining their agency, here's some questions I would ask about how their prospecting strategy works. Do you require me to sell friends and family? Is there a paid lead generation strategy to get me in front of high intent leads? Am I required to cold call? And some of these methods I mentioned may not actually be a good fit for your personality type. For example, I never would have dreamt of selling friends and family as a new insurance agent back in 2011 when I started. So the idea of joining an agency that pushes that as their primary mode of prospecting would have been a huge turnoff, and if I joined the agency, I probably would have failed. It's very important to align your values with how you get prospects with how the agency promotes you getting prospects. If there's a dissonance there, chances are you're not going to do as well as you could. The second thing I would ask is, joining PHP, am I going to be focused on recruiting or am I going to be focused on selling? Again, my personal opinion, I've done this business since 2011. I've built my agency since 2013. I'm out of the field now, have been for many years now, just explicitly recruiting insurance agents. I really think it's important for new agents to not jump into recruiting right away. Instead, what I think is better is to learn the craft of selling insurance from a first-hand basis. You see, going into a business model that requires you to recruit as soon as you're recruited means you really don't have anything of value to share with a prospect. You can't train them. You can't really help them because you just don't have the first-hand experience. And while there's certainly agencies that make this work, the vast majority of agents that join the agency find it's a frustrating experience because their uplines don't know anything and can't help them make and close the sale. So ask PHP, where do their values lie? In the sub-agency you're joining, is it going to be a focus on recruiting or is it going to be a focus on selling? Because what you need to know up front is, where do I want to go, selling or recruiting? And then of course, join an agency that focuses on what you want to focus on. Number 3 is the commission structure. Here's the thing. I can tell what an agency values based on how their commission structure is created. For example, if they start commissions low and only increase them over time based off of recruiting, then it's obvious that this agency is more of an MLM recruiter-focused agency than an agency that would raise commissions higher based solely on personal production. Again, this goes back to what you value as an agent. Do you really want to get into recruiting right away, or do you want to learn how to sell first? Take a look at the commission structure and see if it represents the values you have. And last but not least, number 4, always with PHP or any agency, ask for 3 references of the direct agency you're going to join. Here's the thing. Every agency, including mine, is putting their best foot forward when they're doing videos or when they're doing opportunity meetings. You're going to hear the best prepared sales pitch you've ever imagined. Everything is going to sound perfect. But the truth about business is, nothing's perfect. There's always good and bad with any business. And let's face it, the people who are running these agencies are salespeople, and typically the best. So you need to question things. You need to make sure what is presented actually holds up. And the best way that I know about doing that is to talk to real life agents associated with the sub-agency you're joining. What they tell you is going to validate if what you're presented actually is true. And if you get any pushback on this, when you ask for those references, that should tell you everything. An agency that won't disclose references, an agency that won't let you talk to agents until you join, means that they're trying to hold something. Transparency is not important, and perhaps the promises they deliver are hard for them to actually follow through. For example, when an agent joins my agency and wants to talk to references, I gladly give them. I want to make sure that agent who's going to join feels comfortable that this is a perfect fit as much as possible. The worst thing I could think of is recruiting somebody who's not a good fit, wasting their time and mine just to not sell a policy, and for both of us to lose a lot of lost time over an opportunity that just wasn't right for them. So ask for those 3 references. It truly makes a difference. And any pushback you get, you heard everything you need to hear. So that's my advice to those of you who are looking to join PHP to sell insurance. The best thing I could say, summarizing everything up here, is that do your due diligence. Don't get in bed with the first person that invites you into their agency. Make sure that the agency opportunity they're presenting to you really is a good fit, because this business is absolutely wonderful. No agency is perfect for everybody, and doing due diligence is a smart thing to give yourself the best chances of long-term success. Check out davidduford.com, click the free resources button at the top. That's going to give you access to loads and loads of sales and marketing training for no cost whatsoever for very popular programs like Final Expense, Medicare, health insurance, and annuities. Again, davidduford.com, click free resources, then you'll get access immediately to the programs. And my hope for you is that will develop your awareness and knowledge of how these products work so that you can best choose the best niche to represent.